graduate student forward Khalid and graduate guard Darius. Quisenberry. We're going to open with the statement from Coach.
Well, I just want to thank everybody, and again, like last night, I want to thank Rose Thrill for coming on down to the Barclays Center. I don't know how many fans we had, but it felt like the whole place. So I know we sold about 2,000, maybe 2,200 student tickets. We need more than that, so I want them to hear that. I know spring break started today, but we'll do whatever it takes to help with your cancellation or stall of your flights or wherever you're going, man. We'll make this Cabo of the South, or the North, sorry. But just really proud of our guys. Obviously, this is a big moment for our program, and we want to continue to grind. These seniors right here have put in a lot of time and effort since June 1st of last year, and I can't thank them enough for all their commitment and their sacrifice. Fortunately, I think we're all healthy and we're ready to go. So just really excited to be a part of it and looking forward to tomorrow.
All right, everyone, we're going to start with questions for Darius and Khalid. Khalid.
Yeah.
My fault, guys.
Okay.
We're going to start here in the first row.
Sam Basil, House of College Hoops, for either Khalid or Darius. Coach mentioned the spacing and the ball screens that guys like Abdu said yesterday. Could you talk about how comfortable you guys are on the floor and getting a lot more open looks these past couple games?
I think we're just trying to play together, just trying to not really force anything, just take what the defense gives us, focus on not turning the ball over and just getting up shots. Like I said earlier, or last night, we have, Khalid, he had double yesterday, and he crashes the glass. So we have big man and Ross, they can have dude get boards all the time. So just really trying to get shots up and just take our time off.
Down here in the first row.
Hey, guys, could you speak a little bit about how much you think you've grown as a team from when you guys first reported in October, November to where we are now?
Honestly, I think we've grown tremendously. We started on June 1st, putting work in, getting extra shots up, all that other stuff. But just trying to get 1% better from the start. I feel like our beginning goal was to become the best team that we could be by the end of the year. And I feel like we achieved that by putting the work in every day.
Darius, anything to add?
No, just like going off what he said, just being the best team we can be by the end of the year, and wherever that takes us, we'll definitely reap the rewards.
In the fourth row.
Hey fellas, Matt Shelton, BCRamNation.com, A10Talk.com. Darius, you committed to come here when they were a 2-11 team. What was it about Fordham and this challenge that drew you to come here? And just how proud are you to be a foundational piece in really a historic resurgence?
That's just what I've been my whole life. I've been an underdog my whole life. Kind of been overlooked a little bit, always. Just always been a hard worker. Never really in the spotlight, stuff like that, just trying to do the dirty work in the dark. And now it's kind of starting to come to light. I committed here to be a trailblazer with Coach Urgo, when Coach Neptune was here, and I told myself and I told everybody that wanted Coach Urgo the job that I wouldn't come back unless my guy Coach Urgo got the job. So just being a trailblazer, trying to do things that's never been done here before, and I think we're starting to do that.
We're going to go to David in the second row.
David Jablonski, Dayton Daily News. Darius, any special motivation plan, team from back home? Did you play at the arena back in high school at all? Any of those guys or coaches?
Yes,
Don't let them get in your head.
No, it's always cool to play a hometown team and stuff like that. Yes, sir. I've had plenty of conversations with Coach Grant when I was in high school and stuff, and played there obviously when I was in high school. Our tournament was there and stuff when I played at Wayne. But yeah, it's always fun to play a hometown team, to see some hometown guys, but I'm definitely a Fordham Ram.
We're going to go to the second row.
Tyler Cronin, 3-bid league. Khalid, you had the big highlight last night, that dunk right at the buzzer in the first half, but I actually want to ask Darius, when you were watching him go up for that, were you afraid he wasn't going to get it off in time?
I was hoping he would just dunk it, have some aggression going to the rim instead of trying to finesse and lay the ball up. That's what I love to see out of Khalid. That's what he can do every single time if he wants to, honestly. Get down there into the paint, and it was just great to see and a great way to end the half.
We're going to go over to the right-hand side.
Yeah, Tom Archdeacon, Dayton Daily News. This is for Darius. I'm wondering, you talked a little bit about being in the shadows or something. Did Dayton or Wright State ever recruit you? And Did you want to go there at one time? And I know you had a tremendous game against Wright State at one time, so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They both recruited me out of high school. Yes, sir. But to me, it was kind of like trying to get away from home a little bit. I mean, I've been there kind of obviously my whole life up to that point. So Wright State definitely did. They actually did not offer me out of high school, but they did recruit me when I went to the transfer portal when I left Youngstown. But I found my home in Fordham, and I went to Youngstown out of high school. But I definitely found my home in Fordham out the transfer portal.
Back into the third row.
Darius, you mentioned a little bit earlier, but can you talk about the value of the continuity when Kyle Neptune left and when Keith Urgo gets the job, the value of the continuity there?
I mean, my life is based all off relationships. I mean, my relationship I built with Coach Urgo through the transfer portal, getting recruited when I came here 2 years ago, and then our relationship just grew tremendously through this whole year, through trials and tribulations and stuff that I had going off the court. He was there for me through thick and thin, regardless of what it was. If I needed him at 4 in the morning, if I needed him at 9 in the morning, I mean, he was there for me. And that's just a testament to the type of person he is rather than a coach, the type of man he is. You see, that's why we play so hard on the court, because we're trying to be an image of him on the court. And that's just the type of person this guy is right here. And I will vouch for him any day, anytime, anywhere.
Back to the fourth row.
1 mid-league and 3 mid-league sitting right next to each other.
Fellas, interior defense has been a strength of y'all's all season. It's a huge part of why you're here. But the last time you played Dayton, they finished like 74% inside the arc. What happened in that matchup, and how do you fix that going forward?
I feel like just moving forward, we just have to play aggressive. You know, I feel like we have probably one of the top defenses with Abdul and Rostic as our front court. So just them being aggressive and just coming in from playing all 40 minutes. So I feel like that will be good.
I would just say we're a totally different team.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right, Khalid, Darius, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. We will now take questions for Coach Urgo. We're going to start right here at MTC.
Hey, Coach, just from when you took the job, just a little bit more specific to where we are now, what were your visions back in October, and just kind of how do you feel where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're very excited where we are right now. But honestly, the vision began 2 years ago when I joined Coach Neptune's staff. We had a vision along with Ed Cole and the leadership at the university to turn Fordham into more of a basketball school. And for the first time ever, I think the Board of Trustees and obviously President Tetlow and Eddie Cole, everybody's vision's heading in the same direction, quite honestly. You know, when my father, he played basketball in 1954 at Fordham, and so I've known about the program for years and years and years, and obviously coming from the J. Wright tree, Tom Pecora was a coach at Fordham. He got it going a little bit, and then, you know, I don't need to get into specifics, but, you know, he was cut short. I don't think you see that type of lack of commitment anyway. There's a vision, and there's everybody moving in the same direction right now. So that vision began 2 years ago. And as a first-year head coach, I'm very fortunate because I was there for a year, right? So I knew a lot of people on campus, and it's not like some of these other guys that have taken over programs, much more difficult to start from scratch. A year ago, it was more difficult. For me, you know, it was a little bit easier of a transition, having been there for a year, having a lot of the same student athletes, having recruited the freshman class, and building a relationship with Ed Cole as the associate head coach for over a year. A lot easier of a transition. So the vision never changed. It's been the same from the very beginning, whether or not I was associate head coach or head coach. It's to take Fordham basketball to places it's never been, and I think everybody's kind of heading in the direction and wants the same thing.
And when you watch your team play, they look like they concentrate on making winning plays as opposed to individual plays. Just how do you install that sort of culture so fast in year one?
You got great kids. You hear this kids, yes sir, no sir. I mean, these two kids are superstar individuals. Our staff is, in my opinion, our staff is one of the best in the country. The reason being is not because they're great X's and O's guys, which they are. They're just great people. Great people, and all of them have earned the right to be in the positions they are. They've all grinded. Every one of them was a little bit older. They were former players, but they didn't start as GAs. Trey Woodall was a D2 coach and worked his way up. I mean, Ron Marone was, alumni relations at Pitt, and just a great player, great human being. Dave Paulson, head coach for 27 years, as humble of a human being as you get. And the list could go on and on, but when you have great people in your program and you go out and you recruit great young men who want to be a part of not just the basketball program. See, at Fordham, you got to do things a little bit differently, right? You got to recruit kids that want to be great students, they want to be good in the community, and then they want to be great players. And if you don't want to be all three of those things, it's not going to work in our locker room. Fortunately, our staff did a tremendous job of recruiting those types of young men, and you see the results here.
We're going to keep it in the first row.
Coach, yesterday a lot of your successful defensive possessions really started with guys like Kyle Rose pressing really hard at the half-court line and even in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Could you talk about, aside from potentially getting a turnover, where that kind of sets your team's mentality for those defensive possessions?
Yeah, we talk about wearing teams out over 40 minutes. It might take 39 minutes and 55 seconds, which it has sometimes this year. But our goal is to use our depth and use our physicality. And look, we're not the most talented team individually. They know that, but collectively we're very good. So defensively, we want to wear teams out. We want to, sub as much as possible. Will Richardson, Kyle Rose, Zach Riley when he plays, Ramad Dean when he plays, Darius, all these guards. We want to pressure the ball, and it's a key to us to wear the opposing guards out. We've done a really good job of that. Now we got to focus on doing the same thing with the bigs.
So Keith, one of the things that stood out last night was that you guys all crashed the glass and all dove for loose balls. Was that something that they bought into right away, or did that kind of grow organically over the course of the season?
No, that was started last year. I mean, that's we learned that at Villanova under Jay Wright, and we took it to Penn State, and then obviously I reunited with another Jay Wright disciple and Kyle Neptune. That's a standard. That's what we call our culture. If you're not going to do that, you're not going to play, and they know that pretty quickly. If you're not going to dive on the loose ball for your teammates, if you're not going to give your body up, if you're worried about yourself, you're just not going to play. It doesn't matter who you are, because everybody's got a leading scorer in the country, right? So for us, it's something they take a lot of pride in. We talk about having a great attitude and doing what you can control, right? And so we talk about being the hardest playing team and the most together team when we step on the floor, and these guys have bought into that, right? So that's just kind of become our identity, and it's important moving forward, because when you build, and then also the relationship piece, like Darius said, when you have authentic relationships with your players and you care about them more off the court than you do on the court, they're more likely to dive through a brick wall for you, and that's our guys and our staff have tremendous relationships with our student athletes, and as a result, they're willing to do things they probably hadn't done before.
Back to the second row.
Coach, Darius mentioned, and a lot of your guys have echoed the same sentiment, that everyone in that locker room follows your lead. So throughout today and going into tomorrow morning, what's the main message you're trying to get across to those guys?
Nothing changes, right? So we don't have enough time to reinvent the wheel. I mean, we're going up against an absolute fantastic team that's incredibly well coached. The respect I have for Coach Grant, what he's been through this year, and Dayton's the gold standard in this league, have been for a while. I'm in VCU, right? So no disrespect to anybody else. There's some good programs, but I mean, St. Louis and those three programs they're at the top, right? So we have to be incredibly disciplined. We got to play hard, but we got to play harder and more together than Dayton. There's no magic formula at this point in time. Players make plays, right? It's not about X's and O's, and coaches look great because you got great players that are playing hard on the floor. That's what it is.
Over to David.
What do you take from that first game against Dayton? It was a long time ago. Watching the film, what kind of things do you guys got to do differently?
We can't do what we did then, I'll tell you that much. No, we just got to be more physical, a lot more physical. We got to do our work early. I think, you let a kid like Holmes and Kamara, they're so talented. I think both of them are two of the best players in the country, let alone the Atlantic 10. I think Kamara right now is playing as well as anybody in the nation. Kid is so versatile, he's phenomenal, both off the ball and on the ball. I mean, I think they combined for 14 offensive rebounds together yesterday. That's outrageous. So we have to physically wear them out over the course of 40 minutes, make them play on both ends, right? I think we were a little timid the first time, weren't used to the moment, maybe gave them a little too much respect. So we got to make it hard for them. Can't let them catch it where they want to catch it. Be a little bit more physical. I thought we kind of didn't do our work early and let them catch the ball wherever Holmes wanted to, and as a result, he kind of had a field day. So, you either gotta let him go to work, and he's gonna have to, dominate, and that's fine. But if you do that and you let other guys get off, like Berea hits, I think 3 for 3 in the first half, the first time we played them, you can't do both. So you gotta pick your poison, they're that potent. So for us, it's just wearing them out over 40 minutes, making them work on a short clock, and, seeing where it lands. Just keep them off the glass. They're a tremendous offensive rebounding team. We have to be physical. We gotta hold them to one and done.
We'll take one or two more back in the fourth row.
Coach, how impressed were you with the fan turnout last night? What do you expect it to be tomorrow, and how much was your phone blowing up from just people seeing on video of that?
The phone thing is nuts. I mean, I got a huge family, so that doesn't stop. But and it's all not like they're all killing me, so it's like they keep me humble for sure. But I'm hoping it's bigger and better, right? Spring break for Fordham students starts today, so hopefully they want spring break to start right here in Brooklyn, and they're rowdy, right? They didn't have to get up and go to class today, they had to get up and go to class today. They don't on Sunday, and they don't on Monday. So we need the same energy. I think that carried us through. I think these guys feed off that. You try to say keep it 94 by 50, block out the outside noise, but it's human nature to get involved in that emotion. And I really think that affected LaSalle, and I think it helped us. So, I mean, we need it more than ever. So to all Fordham Rams within 300 miles, like I said before, shoot, within 500 miles. Now you're gonna jump on a flame. It's the weekend. So do whatever it takes to bring the same energy. That was wild. We had the whole lower bowl. We need the same thing as Dayton. Testament to their program. They traveled. They're gonna be in the building. So we gotta drown out their noise.
We're gonna do third row and wrap up in the first row.
Coach Darius mentioned how it's a different team from when you guys last played Dayton. Where do you think the turning point was, and what, as a team, changed?
I think we just started to focus on the fact that we needed to play more together at a collective unit, and understand our identity. Understand that we've got to defend and rebound and be tough and nasty if we're going to compete at the highest levels in this league. And we started to do that, and we started to take pride in all the little things other than just scoring the basketball. And as a result, we started to see some results, and we got to feed off of our defensive energy. Our guys have taken pride in that, and I think that's been the biggest difference.
Coach, that call that you just made for all Fordham fans within 300 miles, I mean, that's
500.
500.
300 on a weekday, 500 on a weekend.
That's been echoed by Ed Call, especially on social media. Could you talk about, the discounts that was provided for the game yesterday for students and the
No, I can't.
campaigning, how that's helped, and what sets that apart from years past in the program's history?
Ed Cole, to me, is one of the best athletic directors in the country. Not because he's the most genius, or he's been an AD he just cares about the kids, cares about the program. He has pride in the name of the front of the jersey, like we do. And when you have that type of leadership and you're connected, and it's not like boss, he's been fantastic to us, our staff, and really to the entire athletic department. He loves Fordham, and you can see it. I mean, it's not about him, it's about creating an athletic department that takes pride in their student athletes. He's done a phenomenal job, so I got to give credit to him, and we appreciate it. And I don't know what he's going to come up with now. I know he's going to come up with something, so we don't have to, right? But I don't really know about the discount part of that situation. But if I can help in any way, I will. I don't care, right? So we just need to fill the place as best we can, because you can tell when the energy's like that, it's pretty much, it's fantastic. And it was our home court advantage. And we need that again more than ever tomorrow.
That's all with the